Hey friends, my name is Luciano. I make videos. I normally like to talk about topics like jump chains and choose your own adventures, but also I am a humanist, I am a socialist, I am a queer person, I am all sorts of different things that make it so that politics affects my life in very real and intimate ways. And today I am going to be talking about the 2024 general election, namely the fact that it ends tomorrow. And I'm going to be sharing some honestly pretty non political views on that, and also some views that are probably at least a little bit political. Everything is political. Some views will be more pointedly political than others, but let's go ahead and get started. First of all, I am going to say that I have voted for a while. For a couple of weeks, I was making a living through political action and through political activity. I was lucky enough to be a Democracy Defense Fellow for the American Humanist Association, something that I absolutely adored doing. I was able to talk to people and connect with people and get them to do political things. I was able to encourage people to vote and encourage them to postcard, and able to talk to people and organizations talking about the real stakes of the 2024 election. That said, this is not really about that. The main purpose of this video is for me to share my perspectives on election night 2024, which is tomorrow, Tuesday, November 5th. I am very excited to be talking about this. I am a profoundly political person, even beyond the sense that I think that all human beings are inherently political. I just think that some people view being inherently political as a negative, and I don't. I am going to talk about the fact that, and this is very important, for the most part, you will probably only know the results of local races tomorrow. And thus, I think that if you are in a place where you are deeply and profoundly concerned about the results of the presidential race, I think it is not healthy for you to obsess over it tomorrow and stay up waiting for them to call the results of the race. I say this knowing that I have done that for the last two elections. In fairness, the last two presidential elections in American history have been incredibly significant, and this one promises to be every bit as significant. So it is difficult to blame me and to blame others who do this, but it is going to be difficult to know many things about national races tomorrow, and about races, even about races that affect entire states, depending on the size of the state you live in. I live in North Carolina. There probably will not be an enormous amount known in terms of absolute numbers by the end of tomorrow. I have no doubts that there will be early callings and that certain races will be called earlier than others for a multitude of different reasons. I am fairly certain that before terribly late tomorrow or before super early Wednesday, we will know who North Carolina's next governor is going to be. We will know whether North Carolina went blue or went red in the actual presidential race. North Carolina is a battleground state. I early voted. I went blue all the way down. I am hopeful that my state will go blue, but I am mentally preparing for the worst. I am doing my best to be ready for the end results of tomorrow's election. And that is all very difficult. In 2016 and in 2020, I stayed up very late. I waited until they called the races, and then the next day was when I had my real reactions. In both cases, the reactions were pretty intense. I remember that in 2016, I met with some other Hispanic folks, particularly my best friend, who to this day remains the person that I consider my best friend, and we cried about the race. We both had extremely negative reactions, and we were both, for our friends, families, and communities, absolutely correct. I remember how excited I was when they called the 2020 election, and I remember how I felt the next day. That said, all of that is real. All of that is valid. I completely understand why people, both those who agree with me politically and those who disagree with me politically, would be super stoked to stay up tomorrow and it's the wee hours of Wednesday, November 6th, and to wait to see how the races are called. I 100% get that. I am not judging anyone or blaming anyone. In fact, I am hoping that if I do decide to stay up tomorrow, which is a very real decision that I will probably make, even though I am posting this video, I am excited by the end results of the election. That said, I also know that I have done what I can. I worked a real paid job to try and get people to politically activate and be politically engaged this election. And I also went out and voted. I have done in very real ways everything that I can do. And I do not know how great it would be for my state of mind for me to stay up tomorrow and into the wee hours of Wednesday. And part of the reason I am posting this video at all is not only so that I can talk in very small ways about my experience with these massive general elections, but also so that I can take a beat and encourage other people, and also potentially have a way to encourage myself to go to sleep at a regular, healthy time tomorrow, Tuesday, November 5th. I am doing all of this, and I am profoundly cognizant of the fact that I am probably going to be staying up late tomorrow. And that may not even be a bad thing, but that is partially because I work from home and I decide the hours that I work. So if I really cannot afford mentally to do anything on Wednesday, I can kind of take that L. I know a lot of people are not as lucky as I am. Now, to be fair, the luck that I have was a result of enormous sacrifice on my part. It was the result of a truly staggering amount of work and sacrifices that I have made to put myself in a position where I have the ability to earn money while living at home. And that is very fortunate because I am physically disabled. I am also chronically ill. If I did not do this work, it would be extraordinarily difficult for me to get work. It would be extraordinarily difficult for me to find and stay at a regular job. And there's disadvantages to this. I am uninsured. The amount of money that I make every month varies very significantly. I am partially working on making more YouTube videos and gaining a YouTube audience so that I can have something of a vestige of a regular job that gives me financial security instead of doing the oddball work that I'm doing right now. But right now I am working. My birthday is coming up, so I am very lucky. And for at least the next couple of days, if I absolutely need to take time off, if I absolutely need to check myself and do what I can do to rest mentally, physically, emotionally, and even spiritually, that is stuff that I absolutely can do. It's stuff that would be good for me to do. And I am in a at least somewhat unique position by virtue of that. That said, I am saying all of this because I know many people who just don't have the same luck as me. I know a variety of folks who, even though they have more stable, secure, and regular jobs than I do not have the hilarious level of privilege and luck that I have to be able to do the stuff that I am doing. So if you are someone who is in a more regular, although probably in the broader sense, more lucky position than I am, I cannot say that I think that you should stay up late. And of course, you are more than free to ignore my opinion, but it is my hope that by saying this, I reach through to someone who really needs it, someone who has the potential to be profoundly affected by the election, and encourage them to do what is, on paper, the healthier thing to do, which is, if you haven't already voted, going and voting, regardless of your political beliefs, and then going to bed at a healthy time rather than sitting in front of the TV with a bucket of popcorn and very possibly some ice cream and nervously devouring stuff while you wait for a race that you have been paying close attention to be called. It is going to be very difficult for me to do that, but I am hoping that when people ask me, when people come back to this on Wednesday and are just like, hey, what did you do last night? I'm hoping that I'll be able to give them an honest answer and look at them and say, hey, Look, I did everything that I could for the election. I'm proud of the work that I did. And on Tuesday, my partner and I made dinner. We watched some funny videos. We watched a TV show or two, and then we went to bed at a reasonable hour. And I say this knowing that I think it makes perfect sense for a lot of people to need every second of reaction time that they can get, every second of prep time that they can get. So different people have different physical, mental, and financial realities than I do. So it is entirely possible that you are someone who, even if you're not like me in terms of your ability to take days off from work, you are able to do something. You are in need of an opportunity to have as much breathing room as you can before the end results of the election, or you need as much prep time as you can when you discover the end results of the election. I completely understand that there are people like that. And if that's the case, you should stay up. But I honestly think that the vast majority of people would be strongly benefited by being cognizant of the fact that the election is ending one way or another tomorrow. There will be reverberations, there will be legal battles, there will be decisions that need to be made. Tomorrow may not be the most significant day, but it probably will be, realistically. It probably will be the day where everything is decided in some sense, and everything after that is the after show. Everything leading up to everything leading up to, in one way or another, the transfer of power, regardless of how peaceful or non peaceful it is, will be part of the aftershocks. And right now, what we need to do is prepare for the initial conclusion, which for many of us would be, again, voting and then going to sleep at a healthy time. The lion's share of us would be best off if we exercised our right to vote, we went home to our families, we had a nice dinner that we liked, and then we watched some TV, not the news, and then went to bed. And I sincerely hope that if you are one of those people, hearing me say this is the thing that motivates you to do your best to make what I just said a reality. That tomorrow you will not obsess over the news, that you will not keep an eye out for polls, that you will instead have voted, or vote if you haven't already, spend some time with the people you love and your friends, and then go to bed. There's a lot more that I could say about this election. I thought about talking about the Electoral College and stuff like that, but I ultimately think that that's the best note to leave this video on. I am going to sign off and get this video uploaded. Just know that I am proud of you, I care about you, and that tomorrow we will see what the future holds. And very realistically, more importantly, Wednesday we will see what the future holds. But we're in this together. We're all human beings, we all share this planet, and ultimately it is my hope that we can peacefully and mutually beneficially cooperate. I care about you, and I am signing off. Bye-bye, everyone.